Hi friends, today I wanted to make one video on my newly bought watch, which is G-Shock Gulf Master GM 1001B. This watch is basically a mariner watch. I call it as a mariner watch because it has a tide graph incorporated into this and a moon phase indicator with temperature sensor. So after I bought this watch, I wanted to check how accurate is this tide graph is going to help me as a mariner, what data I can get this from this watch. So when I checked this accuracy of the watch, it wasn't much accurate when I first time I bought this watch. So I wanted to calibrate it for a much more higher accuracy of the tide graph, but apart from the manual which provided by the watch, I didn't get any data or video in YouTube to make a precise calibration of this tide graph. So that's why I'm making this video for the future buyers of this watch, or the buyer or the people who have already bought this watch, to calibrate the watch correctly. Being a mariner, I have a little more knowledge on tides and how the formation of the tide take place, and what is the tidal range means, and what is this high and low value of tide and how it's going to change, and which also helps me in getting where I can get the precise information for calibrating this high tide and low tide. Yeah, of course, the manual is saying how to calibrate, but did not clearly specify where and which place I can get the tide information. For example, when I was started looking for the tidal information for India, basically this one works on a standard time which we set on the watch. For example, if you're setting the time zone for let's say Dubai, then the tide in Dubai zone will be only indicated in the tidal graph, but actual tide is not like based on the time zone. It's depends from place to place, topography of the place, various climatological condition, and also sometimes barometric pressure is also affecting the tidal ranges. So yeah, so but this watch is designed to show the tide, the high and low tide is based on the time zone. So we need to first set the time zone of this watch. So let's get on to starting the calibration of this watch. For starting the calibration, right now it's showing 16:19 the time, which is Indian time. So I wanted to start calibrating. To calibrate, yeah, I can do the calibration with the Indian time, but in India there are various ports, and the tidal levels for various ports is changing quite a lot. So I wanted to go for a little bit more standard port. So I'm going to change my standard time to London. So first of all, I'm changing the standard time to London. I'm clicking adjust to change the time. So I go reverse, I go to London, and I set the timing to London. In meantime, when this one is changing its time to London automatically, then yeah, I have the tidal information. I'll show you where I can get the tidal information. You just need to go to Google, and then go type tide in London, search. You can check any of the websites, but I used to check this tide time and tide chart for London. You just go inside this website. So basically you get these values here: low tide, high tide, low tide, high tide. So you just take these values the same: low tide, high tide, low tide, high tide. Now we have it in a piece of paper. Now, yeah, now it's showing the London time, and I wanted to check what's the tidal level in London. I just press remote here, I go to tide, and as you know from the manual, the tide starts at 6 o'clock, but yes, you can go to 5 o'clock by going on the I mean to say, by adding 1 by 1 hour. like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then it goes like that, and then again it goes 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, and 0, 5. It comes like this. So basically it's showing the tide at 6 o'clock on 3rd of 5th, on 3rd of May. So 6 o'clock. So what I'm interested here is the high water. Basically this watch is going to show me only the high and the low. So when the time changes from high, let's say when it will cross the high water. So it's supposed to cross after 7 o'clock, it should cross the high. So let me see. Now it is 6 o'clock. So I wanted to go ahead to 7 o'clock. You see, it's just touching the high. So if I cross 7 and go to 8, it should be crossing the high already. Yeah, it has crossed the high. So same like that. Now I press 10, 11, 12, 13. So somewhere very close to 1300. After 1300, it should cross the low. So let us check what is the timing of low tide. You see here, 1324 is the low tide. So basically, it's going to cross. Let me go to 1400. It will definitely cross the low. So basically, the tide has started from 7 o'clock, and it is high water, and the low water is at 1324. It has passed. So to claim the accuracy of the watch is pretty accurate. As I said earlier, I have already calibrated this watch. That's why it's showing a very accurate timing graph in compared to the timing, the tidal graph in compared to the timing. So let me also tell you how to calibrate this watch. Let's go for the calibration part. So now that I have shown you that the tide information which was being shown here is quite accurate, but I cannot determine what is the range of the tide in this. It's just showing only the tidal range from high water to low water based on the timing when it's going to pass. And I also tell the users one more time, this is not for precise measurement, it's only an indication. So please don't use this for any precise navigation purposes. Okay, let me tell you how to calibrate this watch. Okay, now to calibrate this, you go on the tide. So it's already in the tide 1. Now you press adjust continuously. First it will come to moon data, and then you see high here, and then it will show the timing. So what we have to do is, because the London is now in daylight saving time, so it's showing the DST, which if we select the DST, then it will automatically update in the tide also. So what I need to do is, I need to put the high water 0707. So basically I need to input the value of the high tide. So high tide value is 07 and 07. Or you can put the next high water also, 1929, doesn't matter. You need to input the value of the next or previous high water. The better is to put the next high water. So go to 19. 1929. So to change to the other one. So it's 19 and 29. So let me say okay, 1929, and then press adjust. So it's calibrated. So for example, now the high water is 1929 on today. Let me check. I'll go one round and check what is the timing for 1929. So 1300, it's already low water. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 29. The minute hand is hindering, but for me I can see it's exactly in between the last line and the high water. So 1930 it should pass the high water, and yeah, it has passed it, the high water. This is how we set calibration for this watch. And also, okay, now let me change to I'll show you how to check the tide zone in different tidal area. Okay. Uh, One more thing I wanted to tell to the users. Mostly you might wonder why we have the small tidal graph is assisted with a moon graph or a moon phase indicator. Yes, this moon phase indicator is very much useful when you are determining the high tide and low tide. The tidal ranges maximum of 15 meters. In the worldwide, the highest tide range of high to low tide is 15 meters uh, in Bay of Fundy in Canada. So in other places, so definitely it should be less than 15 meters. So in determining the high tide and low tide, we can also know how strong the tide could be on the day of that month. To know that, we need to have a knowledge about this moon phase indicator. So basically it's nothing but like this one. The tides are mostly formed due to the gravitational force of the sun and the moon, and as observed on the earth, the moon is having a more gravitational pull because of the distance compared with the sun. So the earth is surrounded by a water body, and which is getting attracted, and which is the one allowing to form the low water and high water. So when the whole water body is like a cycle, and the water is moving towards the gravitational force, and in one part it forms as a high water, and the other side it forms as a low water. So basically, if the sun and moon are in line, there will be more gravitational force because of these two celestial bodies. So on these days, the high water will be quite high than the normal level. And in case of the first quarter and third quarter, where the moon is in 90 degree to the sun and the earth, so in this case it's like less attraction force, so not much of the high water or low water. So just giving us an idea how the water is going to be. The most highest will occur on new moon day. This is the most important. So on seeing the moon phase indicator, you could get an idea that the tide is going to be very high tide compared to the normal level on a normal day. So that's the purpose of this moon phase indicator. We can also know from this indicator by changing the date when it's going to be a new moon. So we can come to a conclusion that how it's going to be the high water or the low water. I mean to say the effectiveness of tidal ranges. So the last part which I wanted to show you guys is I wanted to change the time zone and check the tide in India. So now that I did the calibration, so it's supposed to show me somewhat accurate tidal range. Let's see how it works. So I press again the adjust, and then I wanted to go to India, which is Delhi, Kabul, Karachi, Delhi. Press adjust. So it's changing the time. This time the time is going to be changed for India, and in between time I'm going to check the time. So same, I go for high forecast. So you see, India is a big country, but there's a lot of there's, let's say today tide time for Bombay. So let's see what's the tide in Bombay. The high tide is at 4 o'clock in the morning, low tide is 10:26 a.m. and the next high tide is at 5:20 p.m. Okay, now we take the watch and take a look. And the time is 4:30. The next high tide for India is 5:20 p.m., which is 17:20. Now go to the tides, and the 6 o'clock just passed of the high tide. 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock was the high tide, and 6 o'clock is already past the high tide. So the next low tide will be 10:26 a.m. in the morning. It was 10:26. So I go further to check. I should come to the low tide or pass the low tide after 10:26. Let me see. 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's almost the edge. And see, yeah. So okay. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 is just touching the high water. So check when is the high water. It's 17:20. So just one press after this, it should go off the. It gives me, so the high tide is around 1700. Yeah, it's pretty much accurate. So this is basically pretty much that's it. Thank you for watching, and if you have any issues relating to calculating your Gulf Master watch, please let me know. And as I see, this watch is definitely worth of $250, and definitely gives us a good indication about the high tide and low tide. And yes, thanks for watching.